With Kang showing up in Loki, it definitely throws a curveball into everything we thought we knew about the future of the MCU. We thought he was going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania first, but that turns out not to be true. We of course know that Kang now will be in many locations and many projects because he is being set up as the next Thanos level villain. So let's hear from the Loki director on bringing this character into the MCU, and even some of the disbelief they had when they asked to use him and it got approved. So when it came to using Kang, he was actually a request that the writers and directors had, but there wasn't anything that was set in stone in relation to where he could appear. And we have since learned that he was being discussed for multiple projects. And the people working on Loki heard about Ant-Man, so they figured, well, we can ask if we can use that character in Loki. The worst they can say is no, and then we'll find something else. To their surprise, they were told you can use him, and the actor will be coming down the road, so, do the rest of the stuff, then we'll shoot those scenes. And that's exactly what they did. Now, at the same time, the director of Loki recently talked with Marvel specifically about the use of the character in the series, bringing the character to live action, and the setup of what is next. And the first thing that Heron said was, if you look at the character of Kang, he is very different, and they wanted a different villain to Thanos. They didn't want to do the same thing. And that they outlined in the original pitch how he would be different, and that when people looked at it, they realized that this is the way we're gonna go. This is the next thing, and they honestly didn't think that this would be allowed because of the way they were approaching the character and having to obviously establish the next big phase villain and Marvel baddie in a Disney Plus series, which again at the time wasn't a proven commodity. They were still a year away from even releasing the first series, so it was one of these gambles. And they also talk about, the decision of making the character this multiversal threat that's everywhere, and how the story changed during the course of development, and obviously what was happening behind the scenes is something that we know affected this as well, such as the Sony part of it. And in the interviews and what they've said since is that if you look at what they did and the ending with the Kang statue and everything, and the presence that's right in your face, and we already know his history, they're doing the opposite of what they did with Thanos. That worked for that time, but Kang is a completely different villain. So he's the next after Thanos, and that's something that they're definitely going to focus on more, is delivering more of the character, having more appearances by the sound of it, which sounds pretty awesome because Majors seems to have enjoyed what he was doing, so I can't wait to see how he plays other versions of the same character.